morning, ladies and gentlemen. At least we're starting on time. Welcome to the Premier's Hall here in Queensland Parliament House. My name is Frankie Carroll. I'm the chair of the Cross River Rail Delivery Authority and also the Director General for the Department of Infrastructure, Local Government and Planning. I'd like to begin by respectfully acknowledging the traditional owners of the land which we meet on today, both past and present. It's great so many of you could be here today, and I'm also welcoming the live streaming that's going on where we've got global interest in this project today, so welcome today. Shortly you'll hear from the Queensland Premier and Deputy Premier. I'd like to thank you for time today. It's a Parliament sitting today, so their time is limited, so I apologise for they'll have to leave a little bit early today. I'd also like to acknowledge my board members who are here today, Dave Stewart, Neil Scales, Jim Murphy, John McFoy and Deputy Chair Paul Lucas. Congratulations guys and welcome you can make it today. We now have a full board in place and delivery of this project is about to start. Tuesday's budget gave the project certainty and it's fully funded. That means Cross River Rail is happening and expected to be operational by 2024. Well done. Industry is a vital partner and that's why you're here today. We need your help to get this project underway and started for the people of Queensland. I'll end there and I'd like to welcome the Premier of Queensland, the Honourable Anastasia Palaszczuk.
Frankie, and thank you very much everyone for coming along today. Can I first of all acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we gather and pay my respects to elders past and present. Of course, can I acknowledge the Deputy Premier, Jackie Trad, members of the Cross River Rail Delivery Authority Board. It's lovely to see everyone here today, our Directors General, but most importantly, can I thank each and every one of you for coming along to this very important event, because as you would have all seen in this week's budget, my government is 100% committed to delivering Cross River Rail for our city. The state's #1 infrastructure project, it's going to be delivered by my government, and I could not be more proud than announcing that this week. So this week we've committed $2.8 billion, $1.95 billion of new money towards Cross River Rail, which will support some 1,500 jobs through each year of construction. Cross River Rail will be a 10.2 kilometre link from Dutton Park to Bowen Hills. It'll include 5.9 kilometres of tunnel under the Brisbane River and the CBD. 5 new and upgraded high-capacity stations will be developed at Boggo Road, the Gabba, Albert Street, Roma Street and the Ekka. This second rail river crossing will ease congestion, improve network reliability and increase accessibility to the Brisbane CBD. And many of you would have heard this earlier on in the week, but my government and I was personally sick and tired of having to continue to raise this issue with the Prime Minister of our nation. I firmly believe that Queensland's #1 priority should be Malcolm Turnbull's priority. And we all work the best when we work collectively together. And it is unfortunate because when we were talking about the extension of the Gold Coast Light Rail on the Gold Coast, we had cooperation from local council, my government, and at that stage the federal government. And when you've got a Prime Minister that talks about public transport and enhancing public transport for cities, increasing their capacity, I was sick to death of having the door closed on me. And when you look at, in the most recent federal budget, money was allocated to Western Australia, to the Perth Metro, and the business case is not being completed. Whereas here in Queensland, Cross River Rail business case has been with the federal government for 1 year. So I'm taking the politics out of it because this project is too vital for us. It's going to create the jobs, it's going to bring the investment, we're going to see enhanced commercial infrastructure. It's going to change the way in which we transport ourselves in this city. And you only have to look over in the middle of the CBD here, just down the road, to see the $3 billion worth of investment that we're seeing with the Queen's Wharf and what that's going to do to our city. And by developing those stations where Cross River Rail is going to go through, we will see enhanced investment. And there's going to be a lot of interest in this project, but we are determined to get it moving as quickly as possible. So that's why the other day the Deputy Premier, myself and the Treasurer went to the GoPrint office where the Cross River Rail Delivery Authority Board had given the approval for the demolition of that building to get underway, to start. and we'll see early works happening in September this year through to December. This is going to change the way in which we commute in this city, but what we're also going to see, if we want Brisbane to be a world-class city, we need a world-class infrastructure solution, transport solution, and that's exactly what Cross River Rail does. So look, with those few words, thank you very much for coming. There's going to be a lot of exciting opportunities that are going to be needed over the next 7 years. I'm looking forward to working with everyone in this room. We need great partnerships from here on in, and I'm absolutely determined to get this project moving as quickly as possible. And I know that my Deputy Premier and the Minister for Transport has the capacity to ensure that milestones of this project will happen in a planned and organised way. So with those few words, thank you very much for coming, and can I introduce to you the Deputy Premier to give you more of an overview about this most exciting project for Queensland. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Premier. I think I've been given my writing instructions publicly, so thank you very much. Can I join with you in acknowledging the traditional owners, the Jagera and the Turrbal people, acknowledge you, Premier, all the Directors General, the members of the Cross River Rail Delivery Authority Board. Can I pay particular acknowledgement to Frankie Carroll, my Director General, but also serving as well as the Chair of the Delivery Authority Board currently. To our industry partners, welcome one and all. It's fantastic of you to be here for what will undoubtedly be the initial industry briefing on this $5.4 billion critical infrastructure project for our state. As the Premier said, we're on the cusp of a new era of public transport for the South East. After 10 long years, Cross River Rail is finally happening. We are going to ensure that jobs on this project start now, with planning and procurement already underway. There's a renaissance happening in urban rail right across our country. Sydney, Melbourne, Perth and Adelaide are all planning or building major rail expansions to their rail networks. Under the previous government, South East Queensland was at risk of being left behind. Without decisive investment in our public transport network, congestion was going to strangle our region and make South East Queensland a less competitive place for people to live and work. The Palaszczuk government's commitment to Cross River Rail will ensure that we create jobs and allow a much better connectivity for Queenslanders right across the South East Queensland region, our most populated region. But we won't stop at building Cross River Rail. This government's South East Queensland Rail Horizon plan, released last year, sets out our plan for future rail expansions that will bring fast and reliable public transport to more and more Queenslanders. Cross River Rail will unlock the capacity for us to build more rail, projects like Salisbury to Flagstone, Beerburrum to Nambour, extensions to the Ipswich, Springfield and Gold Coast lines. You need only to look at our record on public transport infrastructure the last time we were in government to see the type of expansion that I'm talking about and the type of commitment I'm talking about. The Springfield line, built. The Moreton Bay Rail Link, built. The duplication of the line between Mitchelton and Ferny Grove, built. Extension of Gold Coast line to Varsity Lakes. Salisbury to Currabee, third track on Beenleigh line. Corinda to Darra upgrade, the duplication between Caboolture and Beerburrum. 26 kilometres of busway network, built. And I look at Paul Lucas when I say that. Gold Coast Light Rail Stage 1, built. We build rail infrastructure, that is what we do. Throughout its construction life, the Cross River Rail project will support some 7,700 jobs, with many more jobs to be supported once the project is completed. With the implementation of the Cross River Rail Economic Development Strategy, the entire project is anticipated to support up to 85,000 jobs. Through jobs, through connectivity and through great urban development, Cross River Rail will shape our city and our region for the 21st century. Cross River Rail will support a new economic development corridor stretching from Boggo Road to the main rail yards, generating significant opportunities around these underutilised precincts. We have seen our city transform through unlocking old industrial land and transforming them into transport-oriented communities like Southbank, Albion, Newstead, Toowong and North Shore Hamilton. Cross River Rail will drive this transformation even further, becoming a catalyst to help propel growth around innovation and knowledge hubs, linking them through dedicated high-frequency public transport. Last week, I joined with Lord Mayor Graham Quirk to release Connecting Brisbane, a long-term blueprint for the future of public transport in South East Queensland. This roadmap shows how both Cross River Rail and Brisbane Metro, when integrated, will completely transform public transport for the South East Queensland region. Connecting Brisbane makes it clear that without an integrated public transport system, we won't be able to meet the growing needs of our region. This is about getting more people to use public transport by providing a convenient, reliable public transport system and relieving pressure off major arterial roads like the M1, the Ipswich Motorway, the Gateway Motorway and the Bruce Highway. On Tuesday, as we all know, the Premier announced that we will be fully funding Cross River Rail. I don't think anyone in this room can underestimate how momentous a decision this is for our economy, both in the short term but also over the 40-year horizon. But to be clear, we've not shut the door on other funding mechanisms. We've asked the Cross River Rail Delivery Authority Board to look at options to take this project to market and partner with the private sector. We will also actively engage with future federal governments to contribute to what is undoubtedly a nation-building project. In concluding, can I announce and warmly welcome Graham Newton as the acting head of the Cross River Rail Delivery Authority. As many of you will know, Graham was the CEO of the Queensland Reconstruction Authority and was previously Queensland's Coordinator General and Director General of the Department of Infrastructure. The Queensland Government has no doubt that Graham will get our #1 infrastructure project rolling. Cross River Rail is truly transformational. It will create jobs, it will drive future economic growth and opportunities, and it will absolutely change the way that we live, interact and move around our region. I'm looking forward to working with all of you to ensure that we deliver Cross River Rail together. Thank you.
Thanks to the Premier and the Deputy Premier, members of the board and other Directors General, and I guess to everyone for coming along today. It's fantastic to be here. I've worked in a lot of projects over the time with government and I guess this is a momentous moment for any project. I've worked in the lead up in planning phases of projects, I've worked with SPVs, state authorities and so forth, and can I tell you it's an absolute honour to be involved in this project at this momentous particular point in time. I look around the room, there's plenty of people who have been involved in this project over time, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But really, my role is the one to turn the switch on this project and actually get things started on the ground and with the team. So what we've seen is in the last couple of weeks, some pretty momentous things have happened. We've gained a full board. John McAvoy's now on the team, so that's made the full complement, and John's representing Brisbane City Council. The necessary environmental approvals were signed off by the Coordinator General just recently on the 6th of June, and that was signing off the approval for the request for change with the project. And as was mentioned by the Premier and the Deputy Premier, we've now got this significant milestone of the funding being gained, full funding being gained as part of the 2017-18 budget. So that's a major milestone in any project. So this should be really a clear signal to us all that this project is happening. It is happening. There's been a lot of people, as I mentioned, been involved. I recall actually when I was Coordinator General, I think it was the first time we sent it off as a priority project to Infrastructure Australia. So that history has been long and been one of strong engagement, I'll say. But what I want to do is thank all that have been involved. I mean, I saw Luke Fransman outside. I think Luke was involved back in those days, and then many others that have come along in the various incarnations. I guess what I'm looking to do is call on those people with that insight, that knowledge, to participate in this process as we move forward. So I'm here to head up the authority to try and take that lead, and my aim will be to get that collaboration across the industry and bring people together to drive that project. But I guess one thing you want to know is, well, what's going to happen next? I'm keen to get things underway, and I've only been in the seat. How long has it been, Gavin? About 12 hours, yes. But it's been a very busy 12 hours. What we're going to see in the coming time is over the coming period, we're going to be doing some more geotech to supplement the 150 boreholes that have already been done. And that'll be adding to that sort of comprehensive technical work that is out there. And really, this is about getting the information available, so when we're going to market, it's fully comprehensive and will accelerate that delivery. Early works, as the Premier and Deputy Premier have made reference to over the last couple of days, will be commencing over the coming months. And I guess we're looking at how we can sort of bring and accelerate those works and get a movement going. I mean, that site over there at GoPrint is a very important site. It'll be the site where the tunnel boring machines will be ensconced, and it will be where they will launch from and tunnel underneath the city. It'll ultimately be the Woolloongabba Cross River Railway Station, which will just totally transform that Woolloongabba area. And anybody who's ever been to a one-day cricket game and tried to get home afterwards will fully appreciate what it's like to stand around waiting to get on public transport back into the city. So that will change the place forever. But probably what's more important to the people in the room is we're going to get out and start doing the next round of market sounding. And what this is about is having a conversation with industry around the ways in which we're going to go to market. There's fairly well-developed consideration around this. There's a lot of precedent on other projects that are happening elsewhere in Australia, but we want to make sure that the way we go to market is a way in which the market can respond effectively and comprehensively. So there'll be some market sounding activities over the coming months. And then we're going to do a detailed industry briefing when we have the packages and the approach that's taken as a result of that market sounding, and our expectation is that will happen over the coming months as well. I guess in parallel with this, we're going to be doing the ramp up of the engagement with industry, with the community, with the various stakeholders involved. Many have been contacted over time to date, but what we want to do is actually start talking about what does flicking the switch mean on this project and how they're going to be involved, either as participants or people who may be impacted by it. But it's about keeping the community, the industry and the various government agencies that are impacted involved in the process. So to that effect, I'll be having further discussions and getting greater integration with the Brisbane City Council, particularly in relation to the Metro project, but also other interactions with this project. So I guess what I'm asking of you as leaders in South East Queensland is get on board with this project. Cross River Rail is something that's happening. We need you to participate in the industry sounding. We want you to participate in the expression of interest and the request for proposals, because you will be the partners with us to deliver this project. So I'm looking forward to working with the board, the Cross River Rail board, with the Deputy Premier and the Premier as we move forward and navigate these critical steps. So I guess, in closing, what I want to say is get ready, South East Queensland, because it's happening. Thank you. So I understand the live feed is going to be cut now, and then what we'll do is go on to questions. Now, I've been involved, as I said before, a day or thereabouts, and we can take questions. If I can't answer it by all means, we've got some other members from the team here who can assist in the process. Thank you very much, Deputy Premier. So, are there any questions? Come on, let's go with questions. I love when you do an industry brief, particularly when it's an RFQ, everybody just sits there, nobody wants to give anything away. Come on, Luke, you've got a question, haven't you, mate? I already know you. Okay, look, if there are questions, we'll be staying around for some conversation afterwards. By all means, I want to get to meet as many of you as possible. And don't be strangers, get in touch with the authority if you need more information. Keep looking at our social media feeds, the website, Facebook and so forth, because we'll see information flowing out as part of those feeds. Okay, so thanks very much for coming, everyone, and let's go and have a couple of drinks and a bit of a nibble and a chat. Thank you.